The amazing hidden psychology behind billionaire decisions. What you're not learning on Forbes. Billionaires don't think like the rest of us. While media headlines often simplify their success into buzzwords like grind, risk-taking, or vision, the true story is far more intricate. The decisions that shape empires are rooted not just in business acumen, but in deep psychological patterns, strategic cognitive models, and unseen behavioral insights. These aren't just successful people. They are extraordinary decision makers, executing choices under pressure, amidst uncertainty, and often against popular opinion. In this breakdown, we're going to uncover the mental frameworks, biases, and psychological principles that drive the world's wealthiest individuals. This isn't the typical wake up early or read 50 books a year advice. We're diving deep into neuroscience, cognitive behavior, and real-world application, the hidden tools that most never talk about. They make fast, high-stakes decisions, then learn on the fly. While most people freeze when stakes are high, billionaires decide quickly with calculated confidence. They don't have perfect information, but know that action beats inaction. This decision speed stems from a high tolerance for ambiguity, developed through constant exposure to risk. They also build feedback loops to evaluate choices post-action. Every decision, even a wrong one, becomes an opportunity for learning. The habit of acting first, analyzing later, and course-correcting rapidly gives them massive leverage that compounds over time. They accept that no decision will ever have full clarity. Instead, they optimize their ability to pivot and extract value mid-motion, constantly evolving with every result. They use cognitive framing to control emotions in uncertain situations. Billionaires don't just control their emotions, they reframe situations to stay in control. This mental shift allows them to see failures as feedback, competition as collaboration, and chaos as opportunity. They change how problems are mentally structured, altering their emotional response. It's not that they feel no fear, they simply reinterpret fear as a signal to prepare. This ability helps them regulate reactions during negotiations, crisis management, or risky investments, giving them clarity while others react emotionally. Reframing creates emotional distance and enables logical decisions during pressure, allowing them to maintain strategy even under severe external stress or personal doubt. They obsess over first principles thinking. Rather than rely on analogies or assumptions, billionaires often use first principles, breaking down problems to their core truths. This method frees them from industry norms and unlocks innovation. Elon Musk famously uses this to reduce manufacturing costs and rethink complex systems. It forces clearer, independent thinking. By stripping away assumptions and rebuilding logic from the ground up, they discover paths others don't see. It's a mindset of challenge, not accepting reality at face value, but reconstructing it logically from scratch. They train themselves to question defaults, explore fundamentals, and rebuild new realities that would otherwise stay buried under conventional thinking and outdated systems. Their default mode is strategic delayed gratification. While most chase quick wins, billionaires master long-term patience. They think in decades, not quarters. This isn't just discipline, it's rooted in a neurological pattern called future-oriented thinking. They visualize results far ahead and build towards them with relentless consistency. It's why Jeff Bezos focused on customer trust for years before seeing real profits. Delayed gratification becomes habitual through reinforcement, and this cognitive strategy allows them to withstand short-term losses for massive long-term gains. Every short-term sacrifice reinforces a mental loop that equates waiting with winning, a loop they build into their identity and process every single day. They practice selective attention to reduce cognitive overload. Rather than multitask or chase every opportunity, billionaires filter their attention like a laser. This comes from understanding a concept called attentional narrowing, where focusing on fewer inputs improves decision quality. They deliberately design environments and schedules that protect their attention, delegating decisions, minimizing distractions, and saying no often. It's not that they do more, but they do fewer things better. Selective attention conserves cognitive energy for what truly matters: high leverage thinking and key strategic choices. They see attention as currency, and they spend it only where it multiplies in return, not where it merely fills time or creates noise. They rely on mental models to shorten thinking. Time mental models are cognitive shortcuts, frameworks like inversion, opportunity cost, or compound interest that help simplify complex decisions. Billionaires collect and apply dozens of these models across industries. Charlie Munger's decision-making isn't magic. It's built on a latticework of mental tools that he uses fluently. These models reduce mental strain, eliminate blind spots, and create structured, fast processing. When used repeatedly, they turn into a decision-making superpower that scales across business, investing, and leadership. The more models they master, the more mental clarity they achieve, creating rapid decisions without sacrificing depth, nuance, or judgment across various domains. They emotionally distance themselves from outcomes. Billionaires often make decisions with an uncanny sense of calm because they separate identity from outcomes. This psychological distancing reduces ego interference and increases rational clarity. It's similar to practicing stoic detachment, where one controls input, effort, but accepts that outcomes aren't fully controllable. By not tying self-worth to wins or losses, they preserve emotional bandwidth. This distance creates resilience, allowing them to take bolder risks without being paralyzed by fear or inflated by success. This detachment also helps them recover faster, adapt with flexibility, and remain grounded whether facing triumph or total failure, always staying mentally prepared. They constantly seek contrarian proofs before acting. Before making big decisions, billionaires don't just ask, "Why is this right?" They also ask, "Why could this be wrong?" This is rooted in confirmation bias resistance. By actively looking for contradictory evidence, they strengthen their cognitive judgment. Ray Dalio calls this thoughtful disagreement, inviting smart dissent to test assumptions. This habit avoids echo chambers and improves accuracy in decision-making. They're not interested in being right fast. They're obsessed with not being wrong in the long run. This mindset builds a feedback culture where hard truths are welcome, because precision, not comfort, is what leads to billion-dollar moves every time. They normalize rejection and discomfort. Early, from cold pitches to failed ideas, billionaires encounter massive rejection, but instead of avoiding it, they get used to it. This comes from rewiring their brains to perceive discomfort as a sign of growth. Mark Cuban sold garbage bags door to door. Howard Schultz got rejected by 242 investors. Each rejection builds neural toughness, increasing risk resilience. Over time, they train their nervous systems to stay composed in adversity, turning rejection into a routine part of their growth cycle. What paralyzes others becomes practice for them. Each no builds scar tissue that sharpens clarity and hardens their decision-making edge for future success. They train their brain for pattern recognition in chaos. When most people see noise, billionaires spot patterns. This isn't luck, it's trained awareness. By immersing themselves in markets, people, and technology, they develop intuitive insights that guide decisions. This subconscious pattern recognition comes from thousands of hours of repetition and reflection. Warren Buffett reads 5 hours a day not for entertainment, but to train his brain to spot anomalies, trends, and signals others miss. Over time, this gives them what feels like foresight, but is really mastery through mental pattern exposure. They develop a mental radar that's always scanning for early signals, the subtle hints that can lead to massive asymmetric outcomes and exponential returns. Psychology is the billionaire's secret weapon. What you just read isn't taught in most business books. That's because these tools aren't visible from the outside. They're not flashy, they don't get headlines, but they drive every major decision made behind closed doors. Success at the billionaire level isn't just about hustle or IQ or timing. It's about mastering how the mind works, both your own and others. And it's about applying psychological insight to business reality in ways most people never even consider. If you want to grow, earn, and lead at a higher level, this is your competitive edge. Not working harder, but thinking smarter. If this gave you a new perspective, hit like, leave a comment below, and subscribe for more insights that go far beyond the obvious.